Welcome back to the channel. Today is Mike's 70 Ford truck. This is one we built about a year ago. We're gonna do a full build breakdown plus one big upgrade that we just made to this truck that totally changed the way it drives. So this is a truck that Mike's dad had. It was a camper special, two-wheel drive, long bed, single cab that they went camping with. They had a camper in the back, went hunting, etc. So it's kind of been in their family for a long time, which had a little bit of a story, which is some of our favorite projects because they just carry a little more value to the customer. We initially kind of approached the project like we're gonna repower it, rebuild the suspension, make it reliable and drive it without even painting it. Quickly things kind of matured as the project went along. We start getting into this, a little rust repair here, and before we know it, we're painting the whole truck. So it is sitting on a stock chassis. It's got a Gen 3 Coyote, 10-speed, still two-wheel drive. We lifted it a little bit just to kind of give it like a bulldog look is how we would describe it. Repainted the whole truck, did a custom blue with just like an off-white two-tone. Refreshed everything. I mean, all the bright work is fresh for the most part and just made it look really good without, trying to hold ourselves back without taking things like the paint too far and all that to make it really enjoyable to drive. Their goal with the truck was to just take it to job sites and enjoy it and use it, kind of how it was meant to be used originally. We kind of kept that in mind as well as making it super cool and clean. So we can just kind of walk around it. I'll point out a few things here and there. I think the two-tone really turned out perfect. I would say that's one of the things that gets complimented the most. Everybody loves the color, loves the blue and the off-white together. These wheels are awesome with the dog dish hubcaps, very similar to what we did on the Bronco. Color match, centers with a polished barrel. Just looks perfect on this truck. The 18s, those are, I believe that's a 33 or 35 inch tire on there. Just sits perfect, really fills the opening well. That was something that Mike wanted to avoid, was going too tall. He kind of liked the look of the tire snug in the opening, and I think the stance, we totally nailed the stance on this thing. We got rid of the big trailering mirrors that reached way down. This is like actually an original mirror that we found from a local guy that's into these trucks and refurbished all of this and put it all on. But it's, it's got like that bulky look to it, but it's tight into the body. So it looks like a serious mirror basically, but fits a little tighter. Got rid of the rear slider, did a solid black glass. Oh, we got rid of the gas tank behind the door, behind the seat. Just went to a saddle tank. Just got that out of the cab. That allowed us to push the driver's seat back a little bit because even though these are such big trucks, they still are notoriously a little bit tight on the inside. Just put a smooth chrome rear bumper on it, tailgate lettering, a little bit of trim. I really like the way the exhaust turned out on this. Just kind of pokes out the side behind the tires. Just a really fitting look for this, nice and simple. It's got full stainless exhaust front to back. One thing to note about the exhaust, something that we learned as we're going through this. So we had the 50 F1 truck that we built, had the same engine in it. He liked the sound of that exhaust. So we basically matched the same mufflers, all the things as close as we could to that whole system. Well, once we got this thing running, nobody liked it. It had a totally different sound than the green truck. And it took us a little while to figure out what it was. We added some resonators in to try to quiet it down. It basically just sounded really raspy and it didn't fit the truck, let alone it was just kind of annoying. We added some resonators. It really didn't make that much of a difference. It kind of toned it down, but it just still had this raspiness to it. What really solved it and fixed it was adding an X-pipe. And I know that X-pipe smooths out the tones, but I couldn't believe how much it changed the sound of this truck. We've done X-pipes and added them and taken them off of different vehicles, and I've never seen this big of a change. And I think what it was is because the exhaust comes out the side, there was nothing balancing the two tones. It was basically like a big speaker blasting out this side and the opposite. So you were only getting those 4 cylinders. And it was like as the cams were adjusting and the tones were changing, it was obnoxious to your ear. So that was a cool discovery, and exhaust is kind of like that. You kind of just have to go through the motions, learn as you go, because nobody's going to tell you exactly how it's going to sound or even be able to describe what they want it to sound like. So it's always a learning process, but that was a good one. One of my favorite features on these trucks is the truck side toolbox, the bedside toolbox. I think it's a super functional feature. I don't know why they don't do this on new trucks. Comment truck bed if you think Derek should figure out how to do this and we make it as a product. We stuck with, this is an F250 originally. We kept the badging with this type of look, but honestly, most of the suspension is more like a half ton. It's just built to be a little more comfortable cruising down the road. We added the cab lights on top, which just fits the truck perfect. Gives it a little more of an aggressive look. Under the hood is the Gen 3 Coyote. So this is a modern 5-liter engine. We've got aluminum radiator, power steering, air conditioning, all of our normal stuff, our battery kill switches and ECU, everything mounted under here. Super functional, accessible, but just done clean, well routed, etc. It's looking a little dirty because frankly they do drive it, so it's good to see. This is a good fan setup. It's got brushless fans and it's just good shrouding, and really pleased with how that turned out. We've got our engine cover adapters on here to put that Gen 4 engine cover on that just looks a little bit better. Looks a little more fitted to the engine. Simple way to dress it up. You can get those adapters on our website, sandersstreetrods.com. There was some parts available for engine and transmission placement, but putting this into a stock chassis, we had to do a little bit of figuring on our own. But really pleased, it's been solid. We had one issue with, it was throwing a low oil pressure code and causing a check engine light to come on. We could see that the gauges showed us oil pressure the whole time, so I really had not a big concern about losing oil pressure. We ended up putting a new sending unit in and that solved it. Checked all the wiring, got into the computer, and there was nothing obvious, so that sorted it. But then we got a check engine light again. So we went back in to try to figure out what was going on and discovered that it was losing power too quickly after the ignition was shut off. And what was causing that is we put battery kills on just about everything we build. So when you park it for a week or whatever, you can just shut the battery off. You never have to worry about the battery draining because everything does have a small draw into it as far as the computer goes, the radio, and that combination can draw things down. So what I do is I shut the key off, shut the battery off, and jump out. Well, it wasn't giving enough time for the computer to fully shut down. So that was just a little discovery. Maybe that'll help you if you run into this too. But what we do now is we watch and wait for the check engine light to shut off. After that's off, we know the power's out of the computer and we can shut the battery off. But some really beautiful stainless headers from Fat Fender Garage. We were able to get some parts from those guys. They make a lot of conversion parts for the Broncos and Ford trucks and all that. So for doing these Coyotes, I think we got the radiator from them and the headers from them, which all worked out really good. Another highlight of this truck is the interior. I think we totally nailed it on this thing. It's got a Fat Fender Garage interior as well. Lots of painted parts, lots of little details. The trim, headliner trim, all painted to color match. I think the chrome on the dash, it just totally fits. It's just enough modernized with the bolstered seats. Obviously air conditioning, some of the modern amenities, some digital features in the gauge, but still has all the chrome, all the painted interior that these trucks really are. So I think this all just totally came together perfect. Wood steering wheel's kind of fun. Dakota digital gauges. We've got the retro sound radio, I believe, vintage air, of course. Yeah, just super clean and comfortable. Some extra insulation under the floor. Power windows that just work off of this knob, so it's got the switch that toggles up and down just by moving the lever. Yeah, it's super clean, and I mean, I'm like 6 foot, so I would probably fit in this truck no matter what, but with the gas tank out and pushing the seat back a little bit, I mean, you can see it's really comfortable. I mean, you can straighten your leg out. It feels much more like a modern truck. That was a nice upgrade for sure. These panels are really cool too. I don't even think I can get one out this second. I need like a little plastic tool, but so this whole piece, it's got magnets on it and that's what holds it in. Well, you can see it kind of moves a little bit, but that's how they cover all the hardware. There's a bunch of hardware under that. It works really good. It creates a super seamless look, but also like really solid. I'm really pleased with how all that turned out. We're gonna do one of these interiors in the crew cab Ford truck that we're putting together right now too. Just for reference, this is that battery kill switch I was talking about. So this shuts the main power off to the whole truck. It's just a ground switch, goes up to a solenoid by the battery. Super cool gauges in this thing. Turn on, kind of do their whole sweep. They have a couple of digital readouts. They work really good. Give you some more versatility. I believe, yeah, this one goes right into the OBD2, so it makes it super easy for them to hook up. Just draws all of that information straight from the ECU versus having to add a whole nother set of senders just for the gauges. So it works out really good. And then when you go to shut the key off, this is your check engine light. See how the key's off right now? That light's still on. Now it's off. So the ECU's power is completely gone, and then you can proceed to shut the battery off. That was the problem we ran into. Okay, now for the big upgrade. If you've been following along and you remember this truck from a year ago, thank you for following along. But we put a whole new front suspension under it. This was kind of the weak link of the truck. One thing that just we didn't want to take any farther at the time, and honestly we didn't know there was anything that existed at the time. So this is a two-wheel drive, straight axle, 3-link setup that's got an upgraded gear, cross steering, just totally changed the front end of this truck. It tightened it up. It got rid of the bump steer issues that were so common and almost not fixable in the twin I-beam setup. It eliminated the way the struts can move and just the sloppiness of that front end. Driving down the road, it's instant that you can feel it. I mean, even Tyler sitting in the passenger seat could feel how stable the front of the truck feels. We added the sway bar as well from Kinser just to give it more stability, and it's amazing what it did. I mean, I know that going down the freeway wasn't necessarily the most comfortable thing or really anything you wanted to do with that front end no matter what. The lift that we got for it was perfect. It aligned perfect. The caster, we added caster into the twin I-beams, the guys that set all that up, and it worked out awesome, but there's just a limitation. So I searched for a long time to try to find if there was anything that we could do to upgrade the front of this truck. The truck was already finished. It had the motor tranny in it. So man, we were like, we do not need to go after a new chassis and tear this whole thing back apart just to make this fix. So eventually I got in touch with Kinser and they were like, hey, we make this front end. We typically do it for 4-wheel drives, but there's no reason we couldn't set it up with a straight axle. And it worked out really, really well. We pretty much followed their kit entirely. The only thing that we didn't do was add their engine cross member, because that would have required us to pull the engine out to access it. I talked to them. They're super nice. They're like, you're talking to like Mr. and Mrs. Kinser. Like it's great to deal with them. I talked to Thomas for a while about it and just explained our situation. And he's like, well, you could probably do this. You could change this boxing plate and move some things around, notch your front cross member. And we did all that and it worked out really good. So we were able to keep the motor and tranny in, because I knew if we got into doing that, now we're playing with pinion angles, clearances, steering stuff, and I just didn't want to get into that if we didn't have to. So super pleased overall with how that worked out. They were even able to make sure we could reuse like the Willwood front calipers, which just made the whole process super seamless. We got matching Bilstein front shocks for it, plumbed in the gear, and have just been driving it. It's fantastic. So if you have one of these Ford trucks, I would definitely recommend this as an upgrade to a stock chassis. It's got to be the best way to go. I don't know how it could be any different or better, really. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, like it. If you have a question, ask it. And check out our website, sandersstreetrods.com. Pull style door handles have gotten really popular. Check it out.